What's up, Life Force? A really quick video this morning because I am off on my holidays. If you know where I live, please remember my house is full of spiders and big scary dogs, so don't try and rob me. Over the last few weeks we've been thinking about the Bible, and I realized I haven't actually shared my favorite Bible story with you guys. So today I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about what that is. One of my favorite Bible stories is found in the book of Luke, chapter 19. Verses 1 and 10, and it's about a guy called Zacchaeus. Now Zacchaeus is famous for two things. First thing he's famous for is being short. In fact, there is a famous song all about how short he is. The song goes, Zacchaeus was a wee little man, and a wee little man was he. Now, wee is a Scottish word for small. It didn't mean that he smelt like wee, but people treated him like he smelt like wee because he worked for the Romans. And this is the second thing we know about Zacchaeus, is that he wasn't a good person. The country where Jesus was born was called Israel, and at the time Israel had been invaded by the Romans. You might now know all about the Romans from watching horrible histories, and the Romans were not good. And when somebody else owned your country, you had to pay tax to them. And Zacchaeus was a man who would collect tax for the Romans. So the people of Israel, who were very, very proud of their country, hated that they were controlled by the Romans, and they hated paying tax. So they hated Zacchaeus. They hated him even more because he took more tax than he should, and he stole lots of money. Now in our story we find out that one day Zacchaeus hears that Jesus is coming through his town. Now being a short man, he couldn't see over the crowds, so he climbed up a tree. Little man climbing up a tree. As he's at the tree and he's looking down, looking at Jesus, Jesus looks up and sees him. And this bad man that Jesus probably should not have spoken to, Jesus looked at him and said, Zacchaeus, I am coming to your house for dinner. Zacchaeus didn't invite him, Jesus invited himself. So Jesus wasn't just being polite to Zacchaeus, he was making this really big point about the kind of person that Zacchaeus was and the kind of person that Jesus was. And everyone around said, why is Jesus going to this bad man's house for dinner? Why can he eat with someone who is such a bad person and that we all hate? And Jesus could hear all the grumbling and the moaning, and he said, guys, listen, Zacchaeus is a proper Jew. He's proper Jewish. He might work for the Romans, he might be a bad man, but because he is seeking Jesus, he is real. He's a real good person. And this story reminds me that Jesus loves everyone. He doesn't just love us when we're brilliant or when we're perfect. He loves us when we're bad and when we're terrible. And he loves us even when nobody else loves us. Zacchaeus was a criminal basically, but Jesus said that he was going to go to his house for dinner. So it reminds us that Jesus loves everyone. The second thing that it reminds me is that Zacchaeus' life was changed after meeting Jesus. He was no longer a criminal. In fact, he gave back to the people he stole more than he stole. So he made himself poorer to make amends with people. Because the second thing this story tells us is that Jesus should change our lives. We shouldn't just carry on being a bad person if we want to follow Jesus. Zacchaeus couldn't carry on being the criminal and the crook that he was before. Zacchaeus' life was changed. So Jesus loved Zacchaeus even when he was a really, really bad person, even when he was ripping people off. But Zacchaeus changed his life when he met Jesus. And that's a really cool story for us to remember, that Jesus loves you just exactly how you are, even all the bad bits of you, but that love will change your life. And you will want to stop doing the bad things, and you'll want to start doing good things. Not because you're scared of God or because of anything like that, but because you love Jesus. So that's my quick Bible story today. Only super short. You can read it yourself in Luke chapter 19, verses 1 to 10. Why not have a read with that with somebody in your house, a big brother or sister, or your mum or your dad, or even your grandma and granddad, or your great grandma or great granddad if you've got some really old people in your house. And why not have a think about what your favourite Bible story is? If you haven't got one, grab a Bible and read one, or jump on YouTube and search in Bible stories for kids, and you'll find lots. You'll probably even find a Zacchaeus video, and I might even find one for you and link it to you below. So I'm off on holiday now. Remember, don't rob my house. I've got nothing nice in there anyway. My TV is rubbish. It's in black and white. It's that big. You don't want it. Go rob somebody else's house. See you soon.